Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm going to start a new playlist for aspiring data scientists. And in this list, I'm going to discuss about the list of the must know items for all the scientists in general. There are a lot of the questions that I have been receiving from many aspiring data scientists saying that, can you please tell me what are the items or what are the topics I should know in order to switch my career to data science? There are various sort of questions. If I list out few of them, you see here the questions like, what should one learn, where to start from, what should I know the programming language, and especially this is one of the fair full item for those who are from non-coding background. They fear the fact that they'll have to learn programming language if they have to meet their dream. And honestly, it's not that much big hurdle in your career. It could be if you really plan it out well. I will try to answer these queries in the playlist in the upcoming videos. There could be other questions like, what's the difference between a data science and machine learning? In general, what's the difference between data scientist and machine learning engineer role? Well, although this role is not distinctly segregated out in Indian market. However, these are two different roles. If you look the job descriptions in the outside, like maybe in US, if you're planning to work in for a US company, they have two different roles segregated out for a data scientist and for machine learning engineer. Although most of the concepts are common across them, or most of the skill sets will be common, but there are few prerequisite and distinguished skill sets that one must have in order to qualify to work as a data scientist or to work as a machine learning engineer. So I will also give you a highlight of these differences while discussing about the must to know topics in the future sessions. There are another very fearful fact that exists among aspiring data scientists are, how does data science is actually related or dependent on statistics and probability? Do I need to know stats and probability? What if I have the option not to learn them? Can I still survive? Can I make out? Can I work in the industry without knowing stats and probability? Well, the answer is not a straightforward, and even I cannot answer it in a line. But just to give you a background, I can tell you machine learning is not something new that emerged all of the sudden today or maybe in back in 2010, but these concepts were in form of mathematical form since long ago, maybe 1890s, right? If you have ever heard of like Bayesian probability algorithm or conditional probability, these using these basic statistical concepts, machine learning predictions were made even in the old days. It's all that this ML has got revamped as a ML after 2010 with the invent of a lot of infrastructures that supports deep learning, right? And that provides a lot of memory for you. So machine learning has been there since long ago, all based on or founded by your statistics and probability. It's all just got a new name, new form only after 2010. But so in put it short, the machine learning is nothing but it's a advanced form of or general form of statistics. The foundation is still stats and probability, and not just these two. To be very honest, a lot more mathematical concepts, like for example, if you are planning to work highly into as a machine learning engineer or deep learning engineer, you must also know a lot about linear algebra. Linear algebra is another whole department of mathematics where it all talks about vector operations or linear operations. And so, yes, you must have the great foundation, a depth foundation in statistics and probability if you really wish to work as a data scientist. So, you should not say rather, is it really much, can I skip this part, but rather you should say, how can I plan it to learn it in easy way? And I will try to help you that in the future videos. And these are just few questions. I have a lot more. I did not put them here. Let's try to understand. So what I'm going to discuss in this playlist, I will try to form a video on each of these topics in this playlist and trying to cover up different aspects of data science and that you must know technically. So the very first video would be on the programming language. I will try to answer all your queries that you have related to programming language, what you should learn, what you should not learn, how much should you learn, how much you should can skip, and what extra you can do, and so on. The next session will be on statistics and probability. As I said, statistics and probability are a great foundation that you must have in order to understand, work, manipulate machine learning models. So we are going to cover the very basic concepts. I will try to highlight what are the minimal you should know in the statistics and probability in order to be able to work as a data scientist or machine learning engineer. The next session or the next video will be on the machine learning algorithms and especially the classical models. With the advent of technology and the research, uh, there are always new architecture coming up in market. But no matter what new architecture comes in, the all this work, machine learning models or the new architecture or the advanced form still make use of some foundations, and those foundational concepts are coming from this classical models. So we are going to see what are the classical models existing there, what are their foundations, and how much you should know about each one of them, what sort of information you should know about each one of them. And if you are really going to practice this out as per what I'm going to discuss, you'll be actually qualified to work as a data scientist, at least a beginner data scientist. And in fact, that will also assist you a lot in cracking the interviews for data scientist position. Post that, there will be one video on DSML concepts. So there are several concepts which a lot of the beginner data scientists, I feel they miss to know, but you must know. These are concepts which are of course related to machine learning and data science and common across any model that you use. So I'm going to separately discuss about these concepts, and I will put forward for you to understand them. What are the ways, what are the things you should understand? So I'm going to actually highlight each one of them in this video. Then we are going to see the basic of deep learning. Deep learning is again in itself a full-fledged field to know. Different technology has coming, different algorithms, architectures, concepts, lot more, but still deep learning is just a subset of machine learning. So to the minimum, if you really have to know, and you must know if you really want to work as even as a data scientist on the classical models, because from the company perspective, they expect you to know everything. So we'll try to see what are the basic concepts of what are the basic concepts in deep learning that you must know as a aspiring data scientist, and I'm going to list them out in this video. Visualization packages, tool, and concepts. Well, just working as a data scientist is never complete if you do not know how to present your findings to the audience. Now, when I say the audience could be anywhere, anyone here, maybe your manager, maybe your clients, maybe your stakeholders, or maybe somebody else. But no matter how hard you work, no matter what different thing you do, if you could not present your result, if you could not convey your message to your customers or to your clients, to your audience, you are incomplete as a data scientist. And honestly, a company is not going to hire you if they do not test your skill sets of how you communicate. So communication is very important part of the skill sets among the skill sets of a data scientist, which is never said explicitly, but it's always there in implicitly. So what you should know is the various tools, or at least one tools out of the visualization tools, because visualization tools will help you to frame your findings as a story, and you can communicate effectively then if you know how to put your story as a graphs. So I'm going to tell you what are the available advanced tools available in market for visualization. You can choose to learn one of them, and then also the concepts to the minimum. If you are not familiar, then you must know those concepts. And then last but not the least, query language. Working as a data scientist again demands you to know at least one of the query language. Could be SQL, structured query language, or no SQL, maybe like MongoDB. If you do not know that, then again there will be a big hindrance on your part of fetching the data. You cannot perform any data analysis until you have the data in hand, and getting the data from a database, that's again comes as a part of the data scientist. It's not as straightforward, but yeah, you'll be given a lot more information. But what is important is that you should be knowing how to query. If you don't know how to query, then again that's a technical limitations, and the company do not like, or do not like a candidate who does not know this basic thing. So in this last video, I will try to help you out with what are the minimal things in the SQL that you must know, what are the core technical concepts you must know, and of course you can practice around those concepts to upgrade yourself with this skill set. Now, at the end of this all videos, you'll be, if you are going to learn all the topics that I'm going to discuss, I'm telling you, you can qualify to work as a data scientist. In fact, when I say you can qualify, all I'm saying, you can go ahead with an interview. You will be able to face the interview very confidently and without any hesitations. You can choose your sources of learning these concepts. I'm not going to provide you any, although I can recommend a lot of them during the videos. But you feel free to choose your own sources and learn them, master these concepts. It doesn't matter how you master, from where you master, it all matters if you mastered it or not. So I will try see you in the next video on programming language, and till then, have a happy learning.